What is Hawaiian bodywork? Wow, it's a great question. People often ask me, how does Hawaiian bodywork or lomi lomi differ from other forms of massage? And I explain to them best that I can that it's a spiritual approach to the body. Well, in Hawaiian bodywork, lomi lomi practice, we view the body as a whole and as more than one body. You have your physical body, your emotional body, your mental body, your volitional body, and your soul that resides in and around your body. And that's the way we view the body in Hawaiian bodywork, as a whole, because that's what we want to bring to your healing is wholeness instead of fragmentation. So when someone approaches me, I scan. And it's not something that I do intentionally. It's actually on automatic pilot nowadays. As I listen to them speak, I'm hearing what they're not saying through an energetic anomaly that takes place with what's going on really in their other bodies. Because they're usually talking about their physical body. But there's so many more things going on besides what's going on with them physically. We're not just a physical body. There is also the body of our ancestors that lives around and through us and in our blood and our DNA and our bones. Yeah, this is a very deep subject. I'd like to get into more later. So to continue with that subject beyond the physical, there are areas of contraction in the emotional body, in the mental body, and for a simple explanation, we view a contraction as something that's holding, and it's obviously something that needs processing, or it wouldn't be such a stress or tension in our bodies. And so the game for us as practitioners is to help facilitate what is holding in the emotional or the mental body to let go, to release its contraction, to release its memory, its trigger. It's a hurtful experience that got lodged and didn't get processed. A cherished wound is a good way to say it. And we call it cherished wounds because we really don't want anybody to touch it. It hurts too much. So we hold it tightly and we bury it until we're in a personal relationship. And in real healing work, if we go after these contractions and we release them, we open them and we forgive them, we erase that hurtful memory. That's one way to put it. Or we love it to death, I like to say. Holding compassion for ourselves, that contraction has been there for so long, maybe even lifetimes, who knows? But definitely in this one, we're feeling it every time we feel a trigger. So when those get released and opened up through vulnerable compassion that is being self-responsible, tears will flow. People hear. The assessment process in Hawaiian bodywork has everything to do with the emotional, the mental, and the volitional bodies. Your volitional body is what the driving force, the way you behave, how you act in the world, and which is governed by your emotional and your mental body and what's going on there. So the assessment, I spend a few hours with people before touching them because I want to look really deeply into what is causing the behavioral pattern that they don't want or don't need, or they're actually willing to evolve, let's say. And so I will do Ho'oponopono. The sacred apology is what I have coined it to be for the first hour, hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours. There was a gentleman who took 4 hours. 4 hours in this process of addressing every single relationship he had ever had in his whole life. He was in his 50s. 4 hours. Boy, when he left that session, he was clean, I tell you. And he was really grateful that this had taken place. So the assessment process is primary importance to do before any body work. Because what we have going on is this multi-level healing process. The physical body connections are bound to the emotional and the mental body connections. The mental body is an electric magnet, and it's been often said that its origin is the heart. Yeah, there's a paradox for you. That the ultimate desire magnet originates in the heart. And when that desire goes into a mental body, then it gets into the programming. And sometimes it will create an agenda that is no longer pure. As far as treatment approaches go, I never decide what's going to happen with anyone until they show up. And we get into that process of Ho'oponopono. They're sitting in a counseling chair, a very, very comfortable counseling chair. And there's a very deep water basin, about this deep, in front of them with hot water. And we'll have a ritual where I apply Hawaiian salts, sacred oils, and then chanting and prayers. And then they relax into the chair and start telling their story. Then for me, it's time to assess the energy all around them. What do they bring? What are they carrying beyond their mental body, which is just really close to their physical body? But who came with them? Their ancestors. Because a lot of the wounds are carried through generations. Wounds like alcoholism, and drug abuse, sexual abuse. A lot of those patterns, they kind of roll downhill through reincarnation, through the generations. So I'm checking around them while they're speaking to me. I'll ask them a few questions. Why have you come? Simple, questions. How's your relationship with your parents? We wanted one parent at a time. And usually there's a triggering there. But while this is going on and they're answering, I'm also noticing the ancestors that are standing around us and how they're feeding the healing process. And so what we're after is to identify and usurp buried eons. There's a great book by Truman called Feelings Buried Alive Never Die. And this is relatively true. So we're after those cherished wounds. They're holding in people's consciousness. And we want to love them. We want to bring them into a sacred, welcoming, compassionate space to be opened. In this way, there'll be the least amount of resistance in having the cherished wound come up as the person become vulnerable. And once those are identified, then we have a way in to help them release that contraction, release that hurtful memory. I'm very reluctant to use the word trauma because it's so overused today. There's almost like a trauma market, in the healing profession. And I think that word actually triggers people more than hurtful memories or cherished wounds. So I'll use those instead. So to keep in mind during the healing session that love, not human love, but unconditional divine love, is actually the orchestrator of the healing itself. Course in Miracles uses the Holy Spirit, and it's the spirit of wholeness is all that is. Because the spirit of wholeness is actually the gift we were given by God to be in a body with all this choice, with infinite possibilities of choice. That's an amazing gift when you think about it. So we're after releasing these trapped memories and allowing them to surface, giving them a fair amount of sacred space to feel comfortable and be released. And this creates kind of a holistic transformation. So then there's a notch, I like to say, if there's a dial on your soul, like the hands on those big clocks they have in the classrooms, they're always tick, 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 and you can't wait till the class is over. Well, I think each time we release one of these cherished wounds, that there's a notch in our soul, there's a tick of maturity that actually takes place deep within us. And that is such a wondrous feeling. It's just so wonderful to feel that just that little smidgen, that little bit of wholeness, that bit of innocence within us after some guilt or some resentment, some blame has been released, and we can feel the innocence of our soul once again like a cool breeze which is blowing through me right now. That's kind of what it feels like. Yeah, it's a wonderful feeling. Let's reach for that in all of our healing. In conclusion, I would like to really emphasize the fact that we don't actually do the healing as the practitioners. What we are here for, in my view, and it is absolute in my practice, is to empower people, to assist people to call back their power, to remove what blocks that within them so they feel more powerful, more self-responsibility in the creating of this dream of life into a beautiful, loving, harmonious, peaceful dream rather than the nightmares that we often experience in relationship with others. And so in that regard, we view the client as a very intimately integrated, complex being. Their physical body, the mental body, the emotional body, the intuitive body, the volitional body, and then there's the soul. And the soul, all it wants is freedom. And all it finds living this earthly life is limitation. Because that's the whole idea. That's why unconditional love is not a possibility in the human realm, because the body is a body of conditions. The mind is a mind of conditions. So, unconditional love is brought forth from the spirits of creation. It's brought forth by things that are not of the physical realm because there's no conditions from that origin. So that's why we practice connecting with divinity and moving that into our human experience. So we're here to help you, help everyone that sits in front of us or stands in front of us realize themselves and the power that they have as a human being to create the light of their dreams and to remove what doesn't belong in that regard. And there you go. That's how I embody work. If you like what you hear, if it touches your heart, if it leads you to evolve your soul, then please click the like button, subscribe. There are so many more topics that I'm going to gift you for free right here on this channel. And join me again whenever you feel the urge. I'm here for you. We're all evolving together. We all go home together. That's the way. So blessings on your day. Ahuyo till we meet again. Namaste.